Respected Principal Dr. Sheikh Nazir Sir, Convener and Head of the Department Dr. PVN Malleswarao Sir, Co-Convener Dr. K. Venkat Lakshmi Madam, esteemed Speaker Dr. Jumki Biswas, and my dear colleagues and enthusiastic participants, good afternoon and welcome to the final day of our International Faculty Development Program on Working with Emotional Intelligence and Life Skills Management. It has been an incredible journey. During the past 4 days, we have explored the powerful concepts of emotional intelligence and life skills, understanding their crucial role in both professional growth and personal well being. This week has been filled with insightful sessions, engaging discussions, and moments of reflection that have truly enriched our learning experience. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Jumki Biswas, Thodmal Shahani Engineering College, TSEC, Mumbai, who will be presenting on emotional quotient and power portfolio in the workplace. Let's make the most of today's session. I encourage you to approach this final session with the same curiosity and enthusiasm. May I request Dr. K. Venkat Lakshmi ma'am to introduce our distinguished resource person for today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Chumki Biswas is an associate professor at TSEC, a renowned engineering college in Mumbai. She holds a doctorate degree in applied linguistics from the University of Mumbai and is actively involved in empirical research in task-based teaching for listening and speaking skills. Equipped with 22 years of teaching experience, she is often invited as an area expert to various well acclaimed institutions like Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Department of English, and Department of Distance Education, MU. For the last 12 years, Dr. Biswas has been spearheading the syllabus for the subject of professional communication and ethics for Bachelor of Engineering students at MU. She has been associated with Oxford University Press for the last 17 years as a subject matter expert and has conducted over 500 workshops and seminars in areas like English language teaching, soft skills, business communication, organizational behavior, and so on. Dr. Biswas is a Cambridge certified examiner for English language proficiency tests. She also has the honor of working for the Ministry of Civil Aviation as an English rater for air traffic controllers. In the past, she was associated with international organizations like Prometric USA, Sport School for Business Canada, and Oxford University Press UK. Thank you, madam. Now the floor is yours, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Madam, you are not visible. Can you please turn on your...
My microphone is on and my camera is also on.
Yes,
Can
madam.
you see me now?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. It is a little embarrassing when somebody reads out a long list of things, but thank you for the effort, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
I greet again all the participants. A very good afternoon. Today is the last day, and I hope that this day is rewarding for you, just like the past 4 days have been. So I didn't get time to do a technical check, so it might take me a little time to start my slides. Ma'am, please confirm if you can see my slides and if they're moving, okay?
Okay, madam.
I would like to switch off my camera because I want people to look at the slides. Is that okay? My video, like, is it necessary that I keep my video feed on? Okay,
Yes,
okay, right. Okay, is
Is
my
visible?
slide visible? Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, good. So I think it's quite cliched to start a session with a quote, but I couldn't resist, showing this quote to you because somehow it relates to what I'm going to be covering today. So Dostoevsky says, "It takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently." So if this is our intelligence, it has to be informed by emotions. And hence, today my topic is emotional intelligence and power portfolios in the workplace. I know that in the past 4 days, you have been, going through a lot of content about emotional intelligence. So I have tried not to repeat any of the concepts, and there is hardly any theory that I'll be covering. So I also have introduced some quizzes in between. Whenever you see a question mark, which is kind of blinking, I would want you to answer. So here is a request to the organizers to allow the participants to answer whenever there is a question mark flashing on the screen. Okay, so first I'm going to take you through what I intend to do today. So the roadmap, I have divided today's session into two parts. The first part, I will be talking about how we can demonstrate emotional intelligence, not only in the classroom with students, but also with our colleagues. Because when we talk about the workplace is a sum total of the classroom and the staff room. So the first part will be dealing with that. However, when we move to the second part, I'll be talking about the differences between intelligent quotient and emotional quotient. And I'll also be talking about the different power portfolios and how the concept of leadership is intertwined with the power. And the last thing that I'll be covering would be how do we become leaders in the workplace, natural leaders, not just by declaring that I want to be a leader, but where people really look up to you. And you will notice that part two is only dealing with you and the colleagues that you have around you. This does not really matter with the students. Okay, so moving on to part one. My first question is that whenever we want to establish a concept, we always look to the West for some kind of definition, for somebody who is an authority to tell us what it is all about. But I think the concept of emotional intelligence has already been there since, Genesis, since, human beings were there. So we don't need to look very far to understand what is emotional intelligence. We have it everywhere around us. So, in fact, here you can see, we have the Mother Mary and Jesus in the Bible, okay? And we have the Puranas. So, can anybody unmute yourself and tell me which particular characters I've included from the Puranas to talk about emotional intelligence? Anybody? Yes? Okay, I'll just go ahead and flash the answers. I've included Yashoda Maya and Krishna as part of our legacy from our holy scriptures. And if you talk about our homes, then our homes are the best examples where we have the mother and child, in every home that we talk about as a typical family. So, what I want to do is I want to establish the hallmarks of emotional behavior, and this I'm planning to do by talking about 5 stories. Now, these are really not stories, but anecdotes from my family. And the reason I'm calling them archetypal is because the stories that I'm going to be sharing from my family are stories that everybody has in their family. So these stories are both yours and mine. Okay, so the first story, I call it the chicken's two legs. Now, a chicken can possibly have only two legs and not more than that. So, I'll give a little background about my family. My father, and he was the only bread winner of the family, and we come from a very middle class family. So, there is my father, mother, my elder sister, and me here. So every Sunday, my father used to get a chicken from the market, and we used to have chicken curry and rice for lunch. Now, as you know, a chicken has only two legs and two breast pieces. So my father was fond of eating the leg piece, so the leg piece would go to him. My mother would get the breast piece. My sister loved the breast piece, and I loved the leg piece. So, being the greedy kind of person that I am, I would quickly wolf down my food and run to my father, hoping that he'd give me a bite from his, pieces. So my mom would kind of holler at me that, you already had your share, so let Papa have his, and you come to me. So what would happen is that my mom would end up giving me her, breast piece also. So, when I was young, I was too selfish to realize that my mother would also want to eat, some pieces of chicken. She would be left with, the worst pieces, the bony pieces. So from this, I want to establish one thing, in terms of emotional intelligence. Now, here is a question mark flashing. So I really want some people, to unmute themselves and tell me which aspect, comes through from my mother's behavior, like, day after day, year after year, until I left home for further studies. She kept on giving me her good pieces for everything, not just chicken, but for everything. So, what essentially was she demonstrating all these years? Can anybody tell me? Organizers, can you please unmute their mics? Anybody? Don't worry about it being the right or the wrong answer. I anyways have the answer, but I would just love some people to speak up. That would make our session more interactive.
I would say it's unconditional love.
Unconditional love, wonderful, yes, and that leads her to what? Very good, you're
Empathy.
almost
Sacrifice.
Ma'am, in my opinion, if my mother did the same, and it is a kind of emotional attachment that she felt for us.
very good. And you are right, somebody said it's a sacrifice that she did year after year for me. And I feel that, even though Daniel Goleman doesn't include sacrifice in emotional intelligence, I think it is a very, very big part of, who you are. So I'm going to relate this word sacrifice, with a few things. It's like, what my mom did for me when I grew up. I realized, what a selfish person I've been, and now I'm contrite about that fact. And I want to give back 100 times more than what my mom has given. So what goes out comes around. My mom sacrificed for me, and today I'm ready to sacrifice so many things for my mom because I know I need to play it forward. Okay, so sacrifice is still a part of the Orient. So when we're talking about the Western culture, I see parents have very defining lines. Okay, this is my personal space, this is my life, and that is your life. So children become very independent from a very young age. And I have seen times when children get married and they just come and tell their parents that, we are married. I feel that that attachment has not become solidified, like, it has not been forged to the fire, because there is less amount of sacrifice, I feel, which is still a very strong part of the, the Eastern countries, the Oriental countries. So The next thing I'm talking about is we sacrifice time, sleep, money for people we care about. So, when we are correcting assignments for students, sometimes I'm correcting things till like 4 or 5 in the morning. I could have just, quickly signed and finished it off in half an hour, but I do write the comments. I'm spending extra time after classes, to deal with my students. Sometimes they have problems which are not related to the subject that I'm teaching. Maybe they just want to talk to me about something. I spend 15, 20 minutes after my lectures talking to someone. At times, I give handouts to my students. I never charge them money because I know, like, they might not have the kind of money. So we are sacrificing so many and we reap what we sow. Today, after 20 years of teaching, I think I have so many students who are still in touch with me. They call me for their marriages, for the christening of their children and all. And this is what I have reaped. This is what I've earned from all the time and effort that I've put in for my students and also for my colleagues. There are times when I'm so busy. Even the same thing is for you. But if somebody asks you for help, you keep your own things aside and you help them because you know that person needs your help. So next time when you need help, somebody else or the person itself would come to help you. So what goes around goes out, comes around, and sacrifice, I feel, is a very big part of emotional intelligent behavior. Okay, the next story that I'm going to be talking about is the call of the blues. At a very young age, I joined, a hostel because I come from a very small industrial town, and for higher studies, there was nothing much great. So I moved to Calcutta for higher studies, and I have been in a hostel for a long, long time. So every time I would feel low or blue, or I'm not feeling well, surprisingly, I never had to call my mom. My mom somehow would just call me and ask me if everything was okay. So, being the kind of person, I would not want my mom to worry about me. So mostly I would hide things from her. But no matter how much I, tried to hide things, she would get a sense that something is wrong with my child. And I think this is there. This umbilical cord connection is there between every child and the mother. And here is the next question for you. What aspect of my mom's behavior am I talking about? Can anybody tell me? I think the organizers can allow them to keep their microphones and don't disable it, because I have quite a few questions for every slide. So it'll be difficult for you to, control it every time. So just allow them to speak if it is possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So, what aspect of my mom's behavior am I talking about here from this particular incident? Anybody? What is she demonstrating? I don't have to tell my mother that I'm sick or I'm sad or I'm going through something difficult. My mom understands automatically. What aspect of her behavior am I talking about?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it her caring nature?
Very
Ma'am, is
good.
it caring?
Maybe
Very good. It comes from caring, but it is deeper. It is something.
emotional attachment.
Okay, very good. Yes, we are talking about intuition, right?
Connectivity.
Yes, this is almost like an extra sensory perception a mother has, where, without me telling, my mom can somehow feel it inside her that something is wrong. So, this is intuition, right? So, this is again a very big part of being emotionally intelligent. Okay. And let us see how intuition, how, it helps us. So, it makes us sense the temperature around. So suppose you walk into a room and somebody, people around there have been talking about you, you immediately get an idea that, they have been talking about you. So there is no outward indication that they have been talking, but something in you makes you sense. Or when you walk into a classroom, and on certain days I feel my students are low in energy, or maybe they are very anxious because the next period they have their periodic test. So sensing the atmosphere around, okay, or the temperature around, is what comes from having very good sense of intuition or ASP. Okay. Next is, it helps us to know when to stop, in the classroom, or even for webinars and workshops. uh, you need to understand how long you have the attention of the audience, because if you've lost the attention and you keep on speaking, that doesn't make you emotionally intelligent. So we need to be able to put our finger right at that moment when you have lost your audience, and when we know we need to stop. Or when you're talking and somebody is not paying attention, you need to know when to stop. So this all comes from a very deep sense of intuition. Next is, it makes us realize who needs an ear, who needs a confidant to talk to. Somebody that you need, somebody is going through a bad time, that person need not come knocking. You should be able to sense that, oh, this person will feel better if I just talk to her for 15 minutes. This comes from intuition. Next is, it helps us differentiate between truths and lies. Okay, this is very important, and I feel that people who are able to do that, they have self awareness, they have intuition. For example, when I go for workshops and all, people give feedback, and sometimes the feedback are something that they have practiced. They haven't, my session didn't go well, and yet on the face of it they'll say, hey ma'am, it was a very enlightening session and it was very good. So I know that heart is not in it, and they're not really truths. Next is, it helps us evaluate the genuineness of intentions. So I'll give you an example. Two of you are very good friends, okay, and you get the job, but your friend doesn't get the job for the same interview that both of you been for. And your friend slaps you on the back and says, wow, congratulations. That the slap or the pat on the back, you can understand whether it is genuine. Congratulations, he's really happy that you got the job and he didn't, or it is full of jealousy and the fact that he didn't get through and you got through. So we need to understand, like, when people do something for us, or when they say, what is the genuine intention behind it. Don't go by just the words. What is hidden underneath the words is what we understand with the help of intuition. Okay, so the third story that I'm going to be talking about, it is egg rolls and all tea. So when I was a kid, I was very fussy about the food that I was eating. Now, of course, I'm not fussy about anything. I eat anything and everything. So some days when mom would be busy, she would make scrambled eggs, egg burji, and she would give last night's roti in the tiffin box. So every time in the recess time, when I'd open my tiffin box and I'd see, oh, it's enda anda burji and rotis, I wouldn't feel like eating it. So I would get back the tiffin home in an untouched condition. So it happened quite a few times, and then my mom realized that something has to be done to address this problem. So my mom, a very intelligent person and very creative also, very original. So what she did, she found out a way to make me eat my lunch. So what she did was, she took eggs, she made an omelette out of it, and she slapped the roti on top of it. She added some leftover vegetables from last night. She would roll it up, and then she would tell me, I've given you egg rolls for your lunch today. And I would be such a fool, just because the word egg roll would sound so fancy and not mundane and everyday egg burji, and I would be happily eating away my egg roll. Okay, so this is one. And the next thing is that in the evenings, after my father would come back from work, they would have tea, and I would always want to have tea too. And my mother would say that tea is not meant for children. Okay, it's a beverage for people who are slightly grown up. So my mom would not give me tea, but she had a way of convincing me that what I'm having is tea. She would take milk and she would add Ovaltine. Okay, and nowadays you have Boost and all. My time we had Ovaltine. She would add Ovaltine, and the color would be somewhat similar to tea, brownish color. And then she would tell me that, oh, have this is your all tea. Okay, so all would be Ovaltine and the tea would be the tea. So again, me being the stupid person, I would happily drink my all tea, thinking that I'm all grown up and my mom has finally relented in giving me tea. Now, from this behavior of my mom, so what exactly do you think comes forth, in terms of emotionally intelligent behavior? My mom was intelligent. I have to agree to it now, even though at that time I didn't appreciate it. But now I understand what she was doing. Can anybody answer me? What aspect of emotionally intelligent behavior was my mom displaying? Anybody?
Is it the management of mother in a unique or very innovative manner?
Yes, she was being very unique, creative, innovative. Yes, and a particular word that has been, two words, in fact, that has been going around. You know, the whole world is about wordplay, right? It's anybody
Is it
else?
is it the presence of mind?
Presence of mind, yes. Quickly thinking a way out of this problem. So you people are right there. So what I'm going to be talking about is awareness of her limitations, of how much she can control me. And then she immediately understood that she has to come up with some, CT would be critical thinking. She did some quick thinking and she found a solution to the problem that sorted her problem. So I'm going to be talking about two things: awareness and critical thinking. Now, awareness is where I am talking about the fact that my mom understood that she doesn't have control over me for everything. For example, if I don't eat my lunch and I get it back, she can't do anything much about it. So she was smart enough to realize that she could control me only till a certain extent. So, it helps us understand our limitations. So, as teachers, some of us, we know our subject matter very well, but maybe, our control over English is not so great. So, we need to understand that students will not mind grammatically wrong English as long as the content that I'm providing is super duper. So we need to understand where our problem lies, what our limitations are, and how we can overcome those limitations. This comes from self awareness. Then, it also makes us understand how the world perceives us. I might think that yes, can you please put yourself on mute? Right, sometimes it happens, yeah, accidentally. So um, people who do not understand how others perceive, they are not self-aware. For example, I might think that I'm very intelligent and interesting to talk to, but people might think that I'm a dead bore. My sessions are not good, or my students feel that, oh, it's a Chunky Ma'am session again, she will come and cook our brains. So I need to know, and you need to know as a teacher, how others are perceiving you, because once we understand how people are perceiving, we can change or modify our behavior in a way which is socially acceptable. Okay, so this is very important part of awareness. Next, it helps us to decide where to focus. So we know that for example, my English is not very good, so I know that I need to focus on the content so that people will not focus on my poor English. So we need to know exactly what to strengthen so that our limitations are hidden behind our strengths. Next, I'm going to be talking about is it makes us understand the importance of change. So awareness of things around us. COVID taught us that if you don't become digitally sound, you're going to sink, you're going to lose your job so quickly. We were able to make that change and transformation in ourselves where we are able to use digital tools. So, like my mom, she realized that it is time to change her tactics so that I can have my lunch every day. So, we as teachers, we need to keep abreast of changing things, and we need to understand that change is perhaps the only permanent thing. Next is it helps us to engage. Now, as a teacher, when you understand the level of your students, the kind of assignments that you take to your classroom would ensure that the students are not just listening; they are using the faculty of critical thought. So that is how you engage. Give them the kind of problems where they have to think critically, and that is how you create a smarter world. Even when you are in the staff room and you are talking yes, somebody has their microphone on by mistake. Can you please, this is the second time I'm hearing, can you please unmute yourself? It's a request. Okay. So, when we are talking to our colleagues also, for example, we plan on some new remedial. And, when you discuss with your colleagues and you come up with activities or assignments which challenge the students, you are also helping your colleagues to think in a way which will challenge their students. So you are ultimately creating a smarter world. The fourth story of the five stories that I'm going to be talking about is the carpet needle and the wool. Now, the carpet needle is like I have seen my mom stitching, knitting sweaters, and she would use a thicker needle, through which she would put the wool, and she would stitch the seams of the sweaters that she would knit for us. So, a carpet needle basically is like much thicker than the normal needle that we use for sewing. So in our neighborhood, we had a lot of stray dogs, and my entire family is very fond of animals, and we would feed them, and they kind of pets for us. So we have this little puppy, maybe 6 months old. Okay, so we had this little puppy, as I said, around 6 months old, and he was. Excuse me, sorry. Is it visible, my screen? Sorry, a call came through. I don't know how.
Yes, visible.
Yeah. So this puppy, was a very, very feisty one, and he would be running from one garden to the other because we had row houses, and somehow his ear got caught in barbed wire, and it was kind of split in two, and it started screaming, and we could hear from the second floor that something is wrong. So my father and I, we rushed down, and we saw that the ear was kind of stuck in the barbed wire, and it was already split in two halves, almost like this. So I was bleeding profusely, and as I said, we come from a very small town, and this was long time back, and we didn't have vets that time, or we didn't have hospitals where we could take animals, or a doctor would come to the house on a call. So my father immediately took a decision, and he said, go run up and get the carpet needle and the wool. And you wouldn't believe what happened next. He kind of got the dog out from the entire entangled wires and everything, and he used a carpet needle and wool to actually stitch the two halves of his ear together. He was screaming and crying, but he didn't bite my dad because he knew that we were trying to help him. And as you can guess, that the puppy survived. He didn't bleed to death, and He grew up and he was there with us for almost 12 years before he passed away from old age. So, this particular story, okay, ma'am, there is this one particular person whose microphone is on. Is it possible to see and put him on mute? Okay, so from this particular story or anecdote, what exactly comes through? You people know the answer. Can anybody answer, please? What was my father demonstrating? Yes, ma'am?
Taking decision at right moment.
In concern.
Right decision at right moment.
Taking a decision and all this, taking some action to sort a problem, so all this comes from empathy. Because my father felt pain and the fact that he wants to live, and my father was trying to help him to live, or he would have died from bleeding. So, from this particular, okay, I think it's time to put everybody on mute. Yeah.
Can Mr. D. Niranjan Babu please put his mic off?
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so helpful because I can't see whose mic is on. Thank you so much. Okay, so when we are talking about empathy, it helps us understand pain and helplessness around us. I have seen students who have been so pressurized that they were on the verge of collapse. I can make out from their face, or if you're talking to your colleagues, you can make out from their talks or not. You can make out that they're going through something bad and they might need help. So, when you realize that somebody is,
ma'am, there is a request. We can mute everyone's because we would like to listen yours without any disturbance.
Yeah.
So we
Please go
request
ahead.
the organizers to
Please
close
go
the
ahead.
options. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. The first part of empathy is to understand that somebody needs help. And the next part is when you want to help that person. And a true empathy makes us take action. So it's not like, you see an accident and, in passing in your own car without stepping out, you say, oh, poor people, they have an accident. Somebody who sees there is an accident and there is need for car, you get down and you help them, call someone, call the ambulance. That is where you're taking action, and true empathy is measurable. Your action should make a difference to that person. So when we're talking about empathy, there is this little image that you have here. So the first part is where you understand that somebody is in a problem by putting yourself in their shoes. Okay, now once you are in their shoes, you can feel the problem that they're feeling. And the next part is that you walk with them in the same shoes. So this is the easiest way I found of explaining what is empathy. Empathy is not just understanding someone's problem, it is when you act upon it that it really becomes a measurable empathy. Okay, we are moving on to the last story of not the session, but okay, the first part. Okay, it's the talking dictionary. So I'm going to be talking about my father here. My father comes from a very, very remote and poor village in Bangladesh. I don't think even Google can hunt out the village, because it's so remote and so small. And he actually came over to India as a refugee during partition. And as you know from the stories of partition, that they literally came empty-handed. And any which ways, he didn't have much to get. Maybe, few pieces of clothing is all he got along with him. Now, when he came to India, he came in a very destitute state. He didn't have anything except for his intelligence and hard work. And you would be surprised to know that my father actually became a mechanical engineer from Rourkela. At that time it was called Regional Engineering College. So his journey from a poor person in the sixth standard to being an engineer, it was wrought with a lot of difficulty. And the most interesting part of this story is that my father comes from a village where every single person was illiterate. Forget about speaking English, they did not know how to read or sign their own names. So my father, coming from such a place, I don't know how, but he had excellent English. And whatever I know in terms of using the language, the English language, I learned it on my father's lap. And my father is the talking dictionary. You know, uh, I don't remember a time when I needed to consult the dictionary when I was at home, because I would just ask my father for the meaning of the word. So, he ensured at a very young age that my sister and I, we could speak very fluent English. And, that is a legacy that he passed on to us. So, from this particular story, again, I would love to have you answer, but I just go ahead and tell you the answer here. What I'm talking about is that my father became somebody only through the motivation that he had to make a better life of himself, for himself and for his family. And my father has worked relentlessly till the time he died to ensure that we stay in comfort. And it was not just motivation, but I've also seen that he was a rooted person, very, very humble, despite the fact that he was very well known, well acclaimed. He never lost his humility. Okay, so the next aspect of emotionally intelligent behavior is motivation and humility. So let us see in the workplace. So it helps us strive for better and better. Okay. So ma'am, I don't think the mute thing really worked. Can you check once again? Okay. So here I'm talking about, when you're a motivated person, it's self motivation. It comes from inside. You look at yourself in the mirror and you want to be better than what you see in the mirror. So the competition is with yourself and you want to strive for better and better. It makes us work hard for things that matter. So my father understood that he comes from a village, and the only thing that will make his life for him is if he can get himself an education, a good education. And he understood how important English is. I don't know how he acquired his lexis and understanding of English, but he had it. And we mattered to him, so he did everything for us. So work hard for things that matter, and motivation automatically comes. Nobody had to call my mom with an alarm clock to get up in the morning, prepare our breakfast, make sure our dresses and everything was out, make sure we go for a bath. All this comes naturally when you are doing it for things that matter to you. Okay, next is, it helps us see our progress, where we are and where we have reached. And yet at the same time, you don't lose your rootedness, that every time you're humble enough to know and to accept where you come from. People who deny their past, okay, people who try to cover from where they are not emotionally intelligent people. We don't have anything to hide. In fact, you should be proud of humble beginnings. So here it says that we should dream big, work hard, and stay humble. So this more or less, talks about the motivation and hard work. And here I have the iceberg illusion. The reason I'm showing you this picture is uh, the iceberg, maybe 1/10 of the iceberg is seen on top, and this is what people can see above the level of the water. So people can see that I come from a privileged background. Okay, but I really do not come from a privileged background. It is something that was created by my dad. So when in fact you actually see, below the level of the water, and that's where you can see, how much dedication, hard work, discipline, disappointment, failure, sacrifice, and yet persistence is what made my father what he became. So for all of us, teachers, you will see your colleagues, they comment that, "Oh, your students are very fond of you." Now, they don't see that the reason students are very fond, because I've invested a lot of things, I've sacrificed a lot of things. I've worked hard to make myself to be perceived as a good teacher. So this is very important, and we need to acknowledge whenever we see somebody doing well. Please respect the fact that underneath that, a lot of dedication and hard work and persistence has gone in. And the moment you can see that, your respect for that person becomes even higher. So don't go by just what you can see on the surface. Okay, so we finished part one, where we were talking about how we display or show emotionally intelligent behavior both in the classroom and with colleagues. Now we are at part two, and in this, as I said in the roadmap, I'll be talking about different powers, leadership, and how you can be a leader within the staff room or wherever you're working. So here I am first going to establish the difference between the intelligent quotient and emotional quotient. I know theoretically all of you know the difference, but I'm going to be talking about in terms of images. So most of us, we talk about either or. Okay, so we think that intelligence is where you were talking about the brain, and EQ is where we're talking about the heart. But this is a very skewed understanding of what is, EQ and what is IQ. In fact, you EQ, the right definition is where you have the right balance between using your head and informing your decisions with, matters of the heart, with things, emotions that come from the heart. So a good balance of the heart and the head is what we talk about as emotional intelligence. So now this part will not work until we have the microphones on, because this is the quiz part. And what I've done is I've taken four very well known quotations, okay, or quotes, as you put it, and I have made them into a form of fill in the blanks, and I want you people to be able to fill in the blanks with the correct words. So yes, I would love some kind of participation. It's not very difficult, but if you're able to fill in the blanks correctly, it means that you're also heading towards a good understanding of the difference between IQ and EQ. So here is the first quote: emotional intelligence is not the dash of intelligence. It is not the triumph of the dash over the head. It is the unique dash of both. I would love people to unmute themselves and answer if it is possible. Is there anybody who would like to try? Yes? Any of the blanks, if you can answer? Okay, let me solve it for you. Emotional intelligence is not the opposite of intelligence, it is not the triumph of the heart
IQ.
over the head. Yes?
IQ. IQ, madam.
Right. It is the unique intersection. Yes, right. Combination, intersection. So, unfortunately, you couldn't answer, but I'm sure all of you knew the answer. So, this is something that I have kind of given out the answers a little too quickly. The next one, I want the answers to come from you. Okay, so IQ gets you hired, but EQ gets you anybody?
Closer.
Closer. Okay. What was the other answer? See, here we're talking about an organization. Okay, company, let's say a company. Gets you respect. Okay.
Empathetic.
Empathy. Okay, see, you have to understand
Experience.
that it's a hired, something to do with getting hired in a company. What are the things that you expect from a company?
Retain.
Retain. Okay, and then you want to be retained in the same position all your life?
Promotion better.
Very good. You
Promotion.
get promoted. You are absolutely right. IQ gets you hired. So for your CV, you need the marks. You need your intelligent
Promotion.
Yes. Once you're inside the organization, the only way you get promoted is when, yes, the answer is here, promoted. But EQ gets you promoted. Can you see my screen? Yes? Okay, you are doing fantastic. Let's go to the third quote here. CEOs are dashed for their intellect and business expertise and dash for their lack of emotional intelligence. Anybody? These two words are rhyming. Let me give you a hint.
First blank space. CEOs are known.
Okay. Correct. Grammatically, hired. You are right. So you get one, and the next one is rhyming with this. CEOs are hired for their intellect. Very good. You are absolutely right. CEOs are hired for their intellect and business expertise and fired for their lack of emotional intelligence. They cannot be retained because they do not have a very important aspect of being a leader. Okay, the last one, this is a little difficult because the word here is a Latin word. But even if you cannot come up with the Latin word, if you can come up with the English equivalent also, it is good enough for me. IQ and technical skills are important, but emotional intelligence is the something of leadership.
Is the art of leadership.
Art, okay.
Essence, madam.
Essence, yes. Essence. Okay, pardon?
Key.
Yes. Emotional essence is the heart or the key or the most essential ingredient. So the word we are looking for here is sine qua non. Sine qua non. Okay, this is a new word. Maybe you can, keep it somewhere in the back of your mind and check it out. It is a Latin word and it means the most essential ingredient. So emotional intelligence is the most essential, or you can say the heart of leadership, not IQ. Okay, so with this, I've finished with the second topic where we are talking about the difference between, IQ and EQ. Now we are moving on to power portfolios. Okay, so here's a new quiz for you. I will be showing you 3 images on the screen. And I'm not going to ask you about number 1 because everybody knows who this is. That little toothbrush mustache, which is good enough to give him away, and the swastika here with the red armband. So this is Hitler. So the quiz is not about the first person, but the second and the third person. Yes?
Second
Take a
person, second Napoleon, madam. Second person is Napoleon.
Oh, no. Napoleon comes with that little boat hat. This guy is way later than Napoleon. Anybody? Yes?
Is it Stalin, ma'am? Stalin?
Very good. If I were in front of you, I would give you a chocolate. Unfortunately, we're too far away distance-wise. So yes, the second person is Stalin. Let us go to the third one.
Thank you.
Mao.
Anybody? Very good. This is Mao Zedong. Okay, or he's also better known as Chairman Mao of China. He, in fact, established the Republic of China. And these three people are the worst leaders of the world, voted by a lot of people. Okay. And can you guess what these numbers are? 140, 135, 131.
IQs, IQs.
Very good. So superb. So you see, these people, they are more than averagely intelligent. Their IQ is 140. IQ is very good because the average intelligence is at 90 and 100. So all of these three people as leaders, their IQs were very high, and yet they are examples of failed leaders in the world. Till date, their names come up in the top 5 always. Okay, so I've taken the 3, I haven't taken the others, but from this particular slide, what I want to establish is that leadership doesn't require a lot of intelligence. What it requires would be emotional intelligence. Okay, so I would be equating leadership to emotional intelligence a little later, but before that, let us talk about the prerequisites of being a leader. Okay, so here we have the leader. Okay, now when I say prerequisite, I mean that without this particular condition, something cannot happen or something cannot be, something cannot exist. So, for example, to live, a prerequisite is to be able to breathe air. So there has to be air, around us, and that's why maybe we cannot go and colonize the other planets because there's no breathable air. So a prerequisite for any animal which breathes is air. So similarly, if you have to be a leader, what is the first prerequisite? Anybody? Without this, you cannot be a leader. I mean, I can call myself a leader.
To understand.
Understand. Okay, let me give you another example to help you. Who tells or who decides that you are a good teacher? If I say I'm a good teacher, does it make me a good teacher? No. The feedback from my students tell me whether I'm a good teacher or I'm a bad teacher. Similarly, for a leader,
Needs followers. Needs
very
followers.
good. You cannot be a leader without followers. I can scream at the top of my voice that I'm a leader, but I turn behind and there's nobody following me. Am I a leader? No, I'm not influencing anybody. Okay, so the first prerequisite of being a leader is that you should have people willingly following you, not because they're scared of you or not because of any other factor, willingness in following you. So this is the first prerequisite. What is the second prerequisite to be a leader? Yes? There are 3 things that we need in order to become a leader. Of course, there are other characteristics that we need, but these 3 are paramount. Yes? Okay. I think I'll just go ahead and give you the answer. It is power. Only when you have a certain kind of power will people follow you, look up to you to solve something that they cannot solve themselves. So whom do we call a leader? Somebody who's more powerful than us, somebody who has the resources to sort problems for us, kind of problems that we cannot sort for ourselves. So the second requirement of a leader is that a leader should have some kind of power, some kind of superpower, maybe. Okay, every superhero has a specific power. So leaders are also, in a way, superheroes, and they have some kind of specific power. What is the third requirement here to be a leader? The third requirement, I'll just go ahead and give you the answer, is that the leader should have a vision or a goal where the leader can lead you. The leader is called a leader because he has to lead you, he has to hold your hand, and he has to show you somewhere that you want to reach along with him. So the leader has a vision and a goal where he wants to take the followers. Sorry, I am getting calls, unfortunately. Okay, so the next question is, do we all have powers as human beings? Do we have that superhero aspect to ourselves? Do we have certain powers with us, so this is the question. And if it is true that we have powers, all of us, what is your superpower? Okay, I will have about half an hour in the end to talk to you, and I would want you to identify some of your superpowers for me. Okay, so in the next slide, I'm going to be talking about the fact that each one of us, we have certain power or powers in the plural. We can have more than one power. Okay, so when we're talking about power portfolios, we have two kinds of power. The first one is position power. It comes from the fact that you have a position in an organization. You are the CEO, you are the principal, or you are the HOD, okay, of an organization. And personal power is something that comes, is a part of your personality, okay, is a part of who you are. So first I'll walk you through the different personal powers. The first personal power is called the legitimate power. Okay, so if my principal calls and tells me that, Chumki, today is a holiday, but I need you to come to college because I have some work for you, I have to go. I cannot refuse him because he's the principal of my college. That's the kind of legitimate power he has over me, and that comes with the chair that is there. He's chairing the institution as the principal. Okay, next is reward power. Okay, now this is something that we as Indians, we understand, and I see it in every organization. So if you are the pet of the person who is in the chair, you get a lot of rewards. Okay, so most of us, we see that we try to keep a very good working relationship with our boss, whoever is our immediate boss, because we know that the boss has the power to reward us, and that is why it is known as the carrot, dangling some kind of reward in exchange for something that you do for them. Okay, now the carrot doesn't work. Sometimes there are people who do not kind of bow down or defer to bosses maybe who are not so good. In that case, you have the coercive power. The coercive power means the stick. If the carrot doesn't work for you, I'm going to hit you on the head with the stick and I'm going to make you work. Okay, so this is the threatening power that comes with the chair, the position of somebody. Okay, next we have the resource power. This is very interesting, controlling access. So I have seen examples where somebody in power has the computer, the printer, everything in their room, and the other teachers don't have anything. They go out, pay outside and get their photocopies, and if they have to use the internet, they go out and to some cafe, or they use it on their personal phone. So access to Wi-Fi, access to printers, access to maybe a computer, these are common things I have seen, which are restricted, by people who are in possession. So this is known as the resource power, where you stop somebody from having access to certain resources. Okay, next we have the referent power. Okay, now referent power is because you are such a nice person, people automatically like you, trust you, respect you. And I want to share a story about a teacher from my college with referent power. Now, this person is the chemistry teacher. Okay, she's averagely good in her subject, not like out of this world, but as a person she is a sweetheart. Now what happened one day, my students were with her in the chemistry lab, and it was almost 4:35 in the evening, and they did not have a supply of a particular chemical that was required for that day's experiment, and they were waiting for the supply to come. So by the time the supply was on its way, by the time it was coming, it was really late, and ma'am understood the kids are really hungry and restless because it's like 5 in the evening and they leave home, some of them at 6 in the morning. So she gave them some money and she said, like, go and buy some Maggie packets of Maggie. So I think there were like this 15 students, they went and got like 5 packets of Maggie. And you wouldn't believe what she did. She took 5 beakers, she put water in the Maggie in the beakers, and she boiled the Maggie on the burners, the Bunsen burners that you have in the lab. So 5 Maggies is not merely enough to fill the stomach of those 15 students, but even with two spoonfuls of Maggie, their day was made. And till date I feel that she is a one teacher that students really love and they keep in touch because she has referent power. So referent power is when people love you, trust you, and respect you because of the kind of person you are. The next one is expert power. You are knowledgeable about something, you are expert in your subject area, in your field. So this is known as expert power. So people will come to you if you have expert power. Okay, the other two is very interesting: information power. Okay, so in the ecosystem of our organization, there will always be somebody who is well informed about everything happening at the university, about rules and regulations. So every time you have a doubt, you call up this person to ask for clarification, because this person has information, inside information maybe which nobody else has. So that person becomes powerful because they have information which other people do not have. So this is the power of information. And the last one, oh, everybody will kind of understand this. This is connection power. There are people who are not maybe very skilled, but they're still at very very big positions because they know the right people. So they have the connection power. They are connected to politicians. They're getting invited here and there. They're heading big bodies, not because they are experts, but because they know the right people. So basically this is the sum total of the different powers that people have. And there is nobody on this earth who will not fall under one of these categories. This is something that applies to everybody. So some people might have more than one power, but at least one of these everybody has. So we are all leaders, in our own way, let us put it that way. Okay, so in the next slide, I'm going to be talking about the transience of power. Now, certain powers will stay with you until you reach your grave, and certain powers are transient. So I want you to identify which particular power we're talking about is transient. And here is something that I've put up on the screen. You will meet the same people twice. Can anybody explain in context what I mean by this particular sentence, that you will meet the same people twice in your life mostly? Anybody who can tell me, just try. You will meet the same people twice. Okay, I will give you a hint. Yes, anybody interested in trying?
Is it positional power?
Very good. Can you explain in terms of position, power, and relate it to this particular thing? You are right. You are right. You're there.
When the person is in power, he can do anything. And when he is not in power, then he comes back to his normal position. So
Very
we feel
good. That is there. And how do you relate it to the people and you meet them twice?
when they are in power, they are, they are in a different mood and temper, and they make the best use of their power. And when they are not in power, then they come back to their normal position and behave like normal human beings.
Okay, fantastic. You're very close. Okay, so when you are climbing
As
the ladder,
example, no,
yeah,
this can be like the government. For example, once it is in power, and the next term, so the other will come to power. They'll meet the people twice.
very good. When you
That
are
happens
climbing
if
the ladder, you are with the same colleagues, and if you are rude to them or you're mean to them, remember when you have to step down from the chair, you're going to meet those same people.
exactly.
Right? So if you're mean
Yes.
to people when you're in power, remember when you don't have the power, you're going to be meeting those same people twice, and you can understand the consequences of exerting power just because you're an ego trip and just because you have the chair. Okay, so we have to remember that positional power or the power of the chair is very transient. It's going to be there with you for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. After that, what? After that, you're a nobody. And after that, the people that you have mistreated will make sure that they ignore you. Okay, so we need to understand that when we develop powers, we need to focus more on the right side, and the personal powers, the positional powers are transient and they are not going to last. Okay, next we are going to talk about how the different powers are to be used in a very intelligent way, and what are the top 6 behaviors of leaders with high emotional intelligence. Okay, so the first is, God has given us one mouth but 2 ears so that we can listen more and talk less. Okay, so a good leader is someone who listens more and talks less. Next one is, a good leader will engage and recognize team contributions. So, first of all, a good leader will ensure that everybody in the team is participative, feels for that particular project, is invested in the project. Plus, once something good has come out of from the team members, you need to acknowledge and recognize the contributions made by different people rather than hogging the credit yourself. Okay, next is, emotionally intelligent leaders. They understand what energizes people. Okay, and they create the right atmosphere or the environment so that the team can work in a stress free environment. So this is what is awareness, and it comes in, when you can understand that what will make my team motivated to work, what will make them feel relaxed and happy when they're working. The fourth behavior of a good leader with high emotional intelligence is that when you want your team to work well for you, you should have clarity of vision of what you want them to do. So you need to be able to explain the how and why of things. Most of the time, I see teachers complaining, saying the students are dumb. They don't follow. Well, they don't follow because you are not able to, or we are not able to explain things to them properly. So there is nothing like a bad student. So there is actually nothing like a bad team. There can only be bad leaders. So if you are able to explain things with clarity, people will work with efficiency. Next is, who's a good leader is somebody who's able to handle conflict and keep open, transparent communication channels. There should be nothing hidden. And whatever conflict, the person will be proactive in addressing those conflicts. Okay. The next one is a good leader with high emotional intelligence will encourage long term team member satisfaction. Okay, so you want to be part of a team, you want to be a leader, we want to retain you as a good team member. And for that, we need to ensure that they feel motivated, happy, satisfied being part of my team. So these are, some of the common behaviors of top leaders who are emotionally intelligent. Okay. Can you just give me a moment? My dog is creating a lot of problem. I'll just throw him out of the room. Just give me a moment. Sorry.
Second, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So next, we are going to be talking about leadership, emotional intelligence, and colleagues. So what I have to say is that there is no magic formula on how to be a natural leader among colleagues. And as I said, you can scream and shout at the top of your voice that I'm a leader, but if you turn around and see there's nobody following you, we are no leaders, right? So there is the formula that I can tell you how to be a good leader. However, there are some best practices that we can talk about. It's not something that you don't know, but I'm just going through them kind of in a drill pattern, so that we become reminded of these things once again. So workshops are basically for that. It's not like you don't know. So what I have done is I have taken a particular things that people with good leadership qualities demonstrate with their colleagues, and I have masked some of the words. I want you to be able to tell me in a very disciplined way. So if somebody has already answered, then don't repeat the answer. Also, we will go in sequence. So don't give me the answer of maybe the ninth thing. Okay, so we are at number one. We'll go vertically down and then we'll go on the right side. So the first one I will talk about that if you want to be, looked up to as a leader, a natural leader, the first thing you need to do is set and respect boundaries. Okay, I have realized after so many years of working that colleagues are colleagues and friends are friends. So colleagues can be your work friends, but they can never really be very, very close friend of yours. And it is always good to keep your personal and professional life separate. That is something that I've learned very late in life, but now that I know, it has helped me a lot, where I know that colleagues can never really be very, very good friends, in the sense that they will be good, work friends. You can go watch a movie with them, go shopping with them, but don't unburden a lot of your personal things to your colleagues, because you never know when they turn around and they use those same things to hurt you. So you need to set and respect boundaries. Okay. Next one, who will give me the answer? Second one. So dash interest.
Genuine interest.
Very good. Okay, not just very glib. How are you? If you asking someone how are you, you should really mean how are you. Not just because it's a part of conversation and we're used to saying how are you. So when you're talking to people, give them your complete focus. Show that you're genuinely interested in their answer. Okay, the third one. Practice.
Active listening. Active.
Very good.
Listening.
So how can you demonstrate to someone that you are genuinely interested is by actively listening to what they have to say. And in life, people are so frustrated. Everybody wants to talk. There are very few people who are there to listen. So if you want to be a leader, one of the things that you have to, work on is to become an active listener. Okay. Fourth one, dash to help. Anybody? Ready to help. Very good. Offer to help is the same thing. You should be ready to help in order to offer to help someone. The next one, very easy. Say
Thank you.
thank you. Super duper. Next one. Stay in. Very good. Yes. If your colleague does not turn up for 2-3 days, good to send an SMS or a message asking what's wrong, what's happening, why aren't you here? So stay in touch. Okay, next one is ask for
Advice.
super duper. Ask for advice. It makes people feel important, valued, wanted. When you ask people for advice, they like it. Okay, and it also shows that you are humble enough to want advice from other people. You take advice, but you do not necessarily have to use them, but you must definitely ask for advice from people. It
Be
can be
empathetic.
yes, be empathetic. Okay, superb. Next one, share.
Credit.
Share. Very good. Share credit. Don't hog all the limelight. If somebody has taught you something, has made you think of something, triggered a new idea, and you must give credit for that to person who has helped you with it.
Reliable.
Next one, be humble, super duper. Now we're moving on to the next set. Share. Share.
Ideas.
Very good. What else? Resources and ideas and knowledge. Yes. I have seen workshops where the resource person refuses to share their slides.
Be a confidant.
Why? I mean, even if you take my slides, you will never speak the way I'm doing. You will speak in your own style with your own example, the same slides. So don't worry about sharing your resources or knowledge. Their knowledge will be there. So they can never replace you or do better than you, maybe, or even if they do better than you, that is their hard work and credit. Okay, this one is share resources. Next one, be a
Confident.
very good. Be a confidant. Don't go tattling about people's secrets to others. Don't be a gossip monger. You should take people's secret to your grave. So when people know that you're trustworthy and they're going through a genuine problem, we like to unburden ourselves. So you would be a good leader, would be a good confidant. Okay, ask for feedback. Next one, celebrate.
Milestone.
Awesome. I've run out of adjectives. Okay, I'm saying super and awesome. Yes, when people achieve something, congratulate them. You don't have to get a cake or something, but at least you have to, tell them, message them, even if they're not around. So, they have worked hard. So don't see only the tip of the iceberg. Look at everything, the bottom of the iceberg, and celebrate people's hard work. Okay, address
challenges.
Okay. Very good. Issues, conflict. A good leader will be proactive in addressing any kind of conflict because everybody gets disturbed with conflict, in a team. So if you are a good team leader, the moment you sense with your intuition that something is wrong, you will make efforts to address it and solve it. Be
Transparent.
superb. I said the communication channels should be open. There should be no hidden agenda. Okay. Next one is give genuine
compliments.
Yes. This is one thing I find, we Indians are very poor at, the next four things, we're very poor at it. We don't give compliments to people. Even if somebody is wearing, it can be as simple as complimenting someone on the sari that they're wearing or the pair of chappals they're wearing. Everybody likes to get a compliment, so give a genuine compliment. If you like something, immediately tell that person, let that person know that you like something about them. Okay, next one. Praise. Yes. If somebody has done something, give them compliments, praise them for their hard work. Next one.
Greet.
We Indians again are very poor. I see in the lift, whenever I'm traveling in the lift, I have to put in so much effort to look past people and pretend they don't exist, and everybody else is doing the same thing. I think it is easier if you're making eye contact with somebody, just nod, acknowledge. That is a greeting enough. Okay, as teachers, I've seen that we don't greet our students first. We feel that we are entitled to the fact that the students have to greet us first. No, if you are the one to make eye contact, greet them and they will greet you back. So, and if you're very far off and they cannot hear you, just raise your hand in greeting. So, make it a habit to greet people, even strangers. If you make eye contact, smile. Okay, the last one is. So these are, some of the characteristics that, when you display within the staff room, you automatically get hailed as a natural leader. Okay, not something that you don't know, but I just thought of rehashing it. Okay, next is handling difficult colleagues. Despite you, behaving well, uh, we see that the world does not react in the way that we want or expect. You might be very good in your behavior, so you will come across difficult people everywhere. And I think the density of difficult people is highest in any workplace. Okay, because there's a lot of friction in a workplace. So, I'm talking about the different archetypes of difficult colleagues that you will find: the jealous Joe. Okay, anything good happens to you, they're not happy. If students come to meet you more often than they come to meet him or her, they're jealous. Okay, then there is this aggressive appa. Every time they open their mouth, they're shouting and screaming for no good reason. The entire life is one whole chunk of aggression and nothing else. Okay, next we have the gossip queen. You share some confidence with them, and the next thing is that they're talking about you. Or even if you don't share any confidence, then also they're talking about you. So the people who talk about you irrespective of your good behavior or whatever, these are the gossip queens. And I'm sure you will be associating with these different archetypes because everybody has them in the staff room. Then we have the dim-witted devil. Okay, now the reason I'm calling them dim-witted is, if you are good at what you do as a teacher, then you wouldn't want to play the devil. But if you are not good, then you have to lay traps for other people to fall and get hurt, and that makes you happy. So I have seen people, deliberately trying to strip somebody, make life difficult for somebody. That gives them some evil pleasure. So they're evil people, setting traps. But I feel that if you're digging ditches for other people, sometime or the other, you fall into that same ditch. So that's why I call them the devil. Then we have this tyrant. Okay, every time you meet them, they will pile more work on you. And mostly a tyrant would be somebody who is much senior, okay, in terms of tenure. And they can kind of pass off most of the work onto you because you are on probation or you've just joined. So this is the tyrant syndrome. And then we have this toxic tom. Every time they open their mouth, only negative things come out of their mouth. There is nothing positive. They're toxic people. It saps away your energy and strength when you are around people like this. So how do we handle these kind of difficult colleagues? As I said, you can display very good emotionally intelligent behavior, but that doesn't do away with difficult colleagues. It takes all kinds to run this world. So how to make yourself noise proof? And when I'm talking about noise, it's this disturbing elements, angry people, toxic people all around you, is to create a noise proof dome for you. And how do we create this little noise proof dome? It is nothing that is what is that word I'm looking for? Tangible. It is not tangible, but it is something that you can create a kind of space for yourself. So I'm going to take you through the behavior iceberg model. Towards the beginning, also in part one, I showed you a particular iceberg. Now, in this one, again, I'm going to be using the analogy of the iceberg to explain people's behavior, okay, and where they stem from. So, at the bottom of the iceberg, at the core of our existence, we have needs. Everybody wants to express themselves. Everybody wants to do something innovative. Everybody wants growth. I am in an organization. I have put in efforts. I want to see myself growing in terms of grades, in terms of salary, in terms of position. Next, everybody, this is basically Maslow's hierarchy, okay, where everybody needs to be loved. Everybody needs a sense of belonging to someone. Everybody needs security in terms of job, money, relationships, and everybody needs dignity. No matter, even if it is a beggar that we're talking about, even a beggar wants to be respected. Even a beggar wants some dignity in life. So everything in our life is kind of underlined or informed by our needs. And our values are again informed by a need. So let me give you an example where you understand how our value system changes depending on our needs. So if I come from a very poor background where I don't have food for even a single meal, and I try every which way to earn money to feed myself, and I'm unable to do it, okay, what is the next thing I'll do? Hunger is something that you cannot control, so physiological needs are primary. So maybe I will beg or I'll go and steal. Okay, so the fact that begging is shameful will not affect me. My values have changed because I need to eat. And I will not think that stealing is a bad thing because, again, I need to eat. So, depending on our needs, our values keep changing. And on the basis of the kind of values that we have, our thoughts and emotions are tailored or created on the basis of the value system that we have. So, all of these put together is what is in the at the bottom or under the level of the sea, and on top is our behavior. So our behavior is a sum total of our needs, values, and emotions. And behavior is what people can see, but everything inside the head, people cannot see. So when you come across difficult colleagues, please understand that you can see their anger, their frustration, their toxic nature, but underneath they are insecure, they're lonely, they are frustrated, they're empty, they have fear. So for example, you are a new recruit and you are like, say, 27 years old, and you get promotions every 3-4 years, and you're already an associate professor, and somebody who has been in the organization for 50 years, okay, has slogged for 50 years, has not got a promotion. So obviously there'll be frustration, and this frustration will lead to anger. So whenever you see people who are jealous. Okay, now people who are jealous are insecure. In fact, if you have jealous people around you, know that you're doing well in life. Somebody is jealous of you, somebody is jealous of something that you have. So every negative behavior is it stems from something underneath, and the moment you see this part, okay, underneath the iceberg, you can create that bubble and you can be inside. So somebody who is shouting a lot might be helpless, and the only way he can get work done is by screaming and throwing a tantrum maybe. So these things, the moment we are able to see, we are able to ignore these kind of difficult people in the workplace, and we are able to create that bubble in which we can work peacefully and fruitfully, let us say. Okay, the last part is where you know how to handle your colleagues, but most important is we are talking about us. So how do we manage our own emotions? Okay, how do we juggle with the different emotions? Emotions will be there for everybody. Anger will come automatically, sadness will come. So nobody's telling you that you don't feel these emotions. Only we need to know how to channelize these emotions, what to do. So for that, we have the mood meter. Okay, now I will explain the mood meter to you. Now see, the color coding is also very interesting. It will give you an idea. Green is safe. This is the safe zone, okay, where these emotions are highly pleasant, and they don't require a lot of energy. Okay, so it is the green zone. Okay, yellow should remind you of sunshine, so something bright and energetic. So this is a very pleasant, these are pleasant emotions and they are high energy. Okay, and so this is in the yellow zone. Now blue, it's easy to remember. Whenever we feel sad, we say we are blue. The color blue indicates sadness. So this is low degree of pleasantness here. Okay, and also low energy. So when you're sad, when you're down, morose, okay, miserable, all of these are low pleasantness. It doesn't make you feel good, plus it saps your energy. Okay, then we have the red sector here. The red one, it tells you that it is something hot. Okay, right? So all our anger, jittery, stressed, shocked, these are in the red zone, which is low on pleasantness and high on energy. It makes you mad, it makes you hop around. So this green one is the calm zone, this one is the charged up zone, the blue one is the sad zone, and the corner one, top left corner, is the furious zone. Now you have the mood meter, but I want to show you how to use the mood meter. That is when and how to use the mood meter. So there is an acronym here that in a way it is a mnemonics, that will help you remember. The first one is recognize emotions in self and others. Ruler. Okay, the ruler is the mnemonic. So you should be able to have that kind of awareness, personal awareness and social awareness, to be able to recognize emotions in yourself and in others. Next one is, it's not just enough to recognize, you need to understand the causes. That means you need to see beneath the iceberg what are the causes and the consequences, the behaviors of the kind of emotion you and others are feeling. This one is very important. Label emotions accurately. I feel sometimes we even fool ourselves. For example, if I'm feeling jealous, in moral science, people have taught us in school that jealousy is a bad emotion. But jealousy is something that everybody feels, but we are so hesitant to label it correctly as jealousy. I might be jealous as hell of somebody else doing better than me, or getting a promotion, or having a better, bigger house or a car than me. So until and unless you're able to label the emotion correctly, nothing can work. Next is to express emotions appropriately. Even to ourselves, sometimes we hide, we whitewash what we think. So if you're feeling jealousy, express it, at least accept it yourself that you're jealous, or maybe talk it out with somebody. So first is labeling the emotion correctly in the chart, and the next one is to express or to accept it, at least yourself, and the last one is regulate those emotions effectively. Now, I can give you a lot of gyan on how to regulate emotions, but until and unless I'm able to give you concrete ways of regulating, this webinar does not make sense. So, in the next slide, I'm going to be talking about, the 4 zones. If you're in the 4 zones, what are the things that we can do to kind of, deal being in that particular zone. So if you are in the green zone, obviously you're happy, but if you're happy, you just don't lay back and do nothing. You celebrate the fact that you are happy. So listen to happy, upbeat music, wear something beautiful. As teachers, I'm so pressed for time that I don't even take care of myself. I don't even dress well. So if you're happy, make extra efforts to, wear something pretty, apply some moisturizer, eat something nice, go for a walk. And when you come back from that work, you feel rejuvenated. You are in the happy zone. So celebrate the fact, count your blessings, and celebrate the fact that you're happy. Now, when you are in the yellow zone, you're charged up. Okay. Now, when you're charged up, okay, get inspired, brainstorm, start something new. Like, we keep on thinking that, I want to join the dance class, before I get too old and my knees hurt. You have been keeping it off. So, start something new, take some step because you are at a high energy level. Then declutter your workspace. This is something I find very, very helpful. I'm such a messy person. Things are in a mess, but the day I arrange my books well, my clothes are nicely stacked up in my cupboard, or my work table looks like it's used by a human being. I feel better. Next is check things off your to-do list. Okay, this is where things that you've been pushing, and pushing back, and you've not been paying attention to it. Check off certain things to be done, pay your bills which are overdue. So this is in the charge section. Now, when you're blue, when you're sad, okay, I think listening to music is very, very therapeutic. And the second thing is that when you're sad, when you're low, don't work. Because if you're working, your work will not be of good quality if you're not feeling too good in the head. Next is, it helps to talk to a friend, somebody who is empathetic towards you. Talk and unburden yourself. Identify what is making you sad and talk about it. Have a cup of strong tea, coffee, anything that is sugary. The sugar somehow gives you an instant high, so it helps you out of depression. And the most important thing is try self talk and tell yourself that this too shall pass. Bad days are here. How long will it last? 5 days, 6 days, a month, but it will also pass. So these are the things that you can do when you're really sad, and nobody else can pull you out of your sad zone. Only you can do it for yourself. And this one is the most difficult zone, is the furious, angry, red zone. Now, when you're angry, I personally feel that, when I listen to loud music, I drown out all the angry thoughts in my head. It kind of helps me, by uh, overlaying my thoughts with the lyrics of the song that I'm listening to. So high music helps me. I generally go for a walk or a run. When I'm running, I'm so focused on avoiding traffic and running in one particular direction, that and my body is going through a stressful time, that I don't focus on things that people have told me, and it's making me angry, and it's going around in a loop. So I stop that loop thing by going for a run. The days I'm really angry, I think it makes me very happy when I go shopping and I buy something pretty for myself. It can be a dress, it can be a book that you love, it can be crockery that you use in the kitchen. If you don't want to shop, you can go watch a movie, but go alone, don't go with anybody. Just go watch a movie for the 3 hours. There will be a break in that loop that is going on in your head. And once you come out of the movie theater, you will realize that the level of your anger has come down a lot. And the last thing, when you're angry, that's the time, at least I pray, and I complain. So when you talk to a friend, I think the Lord is my friend, and when I'm upset, I tell him that why are these things happening with me. Okay, so in a way, I'm complaining to him. I'm having a one-way conversation with him, and to me, that is a prayer. Okay, I thank him, and I also, complain to him. I do both. Okay, so uh, these are these are things that might work for certain people, might not work for other people. So the next slide, and in fact, this is the last slide. I'm going to be talking about a sure shot way where you can remain happy for a longer time. Yesterday, Dr. Adam Paul was talking about the 4 happy hormones. Now, he did introduce us to the happy hormones, but he did not elaborate on how and when these are released. So I'm going to be giving you an example to show you how you can make your body release these hormones and how it can stay with you for a sustained time, because these hormones are notorious for being there only for a short time. It's a short fix. Dopamine doesn't last long. So what is dopamine? It's the reward chemical. Every time you do something new, okay, for yourself, your body and mind feels happy for maybe half an hour a day, and then the dopamine stops. Okay, so it doesn't give you perpetual happiness. And dopamine, the more, yes, yeah, dopamine, right. So I'll give you an example with the same chicken thingy. During my childhood, chicken would come once a week. Now that I'm earning myself, and as Indians, we earn fairly more than what people used to earn 20 years back. I have chicken in my fridge every day. Okay, I can pull it out and I cook it. I can cook it every day, and you wouldn't believe that I don't like chicken anymore. Yeah, because it's there for me. There. So the happiness that I used to get, the reward that I used to get from thinking that I'm going to eat chicken is gone for me. It doesn't work anymore. So I'll give you one more example. Previously, somebody would give me a gift. I would be very happy because it's not often that you get a gift. Can you put yourself on mute?
Emotional intelligence and IQ.
Yeah, your wife is telling your mic is on. I can hear her. So sweet. Okay, so dopamine, as I said, is notoriously short-lived. So what happens? I'm going to explain with an example. You see somebody uh, who looks very good when they're dressed up because they have a good body, and they look very fresh and energetic. So you ask your colleague and you find out that he has been going to the gym for the last 7 months, and you get very inspired by looking at the transformation that he or she has, and you go and you pay a good amount and you take a gym membership. The moment you take the gym membership, you pay a hefty amount. Dopamine is released because it's rewarding you for something new that you have decided to do and you have taken action for it. Okay, next comes endorphins. Now, endorphins are known as the morphine or the painkiller. So, it suppresses unpleasant feelings and thoughts and feelings in the body, okay, in the mind and the body. So when you start exercising, the first 3 days are hell. Your muscles are aching. You don't feel like going, but you kind of force yourself to go. And by the time is 1 week, 10 days, you are motivated to go to the gym because what your body has started producing is endorphins. It is helping you to go to the gym even though your muscle is aching. It is the painkiller that is masking the pain. And at the end of the gymming session of 1 or 2 hours, it makes you feel very high, because that is what endorphins do. It suppresses the pain and it gives you a high at the end. So when you start exercising every day, you will realize that you are coming back from the gym very, very happy and energized, even though going to the gym is, you have to kind of self-talk yourself into it. Okay, the third one is oxytocin. This is the love hormone. And what happens is, after 6 months of going to the gym, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can see that your flabby tummy has gone in, your face is looking more sculpted, everything about you is looking better, you're feeling better, and that's when you start falling in love with yourself, how you look and how you feel, and that's when the oxytocin starts, working in your body. But after this, something amazing happens, and that is, when you have been to the gym for, and you become a regular gym goer, and it has been a month, sorry, it has been a year, you will see that people start, complimenting you. You start, dressing well, you start interacting more with people. You are, generally, feeling very energetic, you sleep very well, okay, you wake up fresh, and this is when the most difficult of the happy hormones, the serotonin, starts releasing, and this gives you happiness for a long, 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 long time. So we have to understand that we need to move from just getting dopamine released in our body to serotonin. So this is a journey that we have to make, and if this you can do, happiness is guaranteed for you. This will work for you, and it will, sort out most of your emotional problems in a way, to a great extent. I started with a quote and I end with a quote. Even though the last slide was about focusing on ourselves, at the end of the day, I found that this quote makes sense, that emotional intelligence is when you finally realize it's not all about you. No man is an island. So we live in a society, and our interaction with society, decides the kind of life in a way we have. So, emotional intelligence is when it becomes more about others than about yourself. And with that, I will say thank you. And now I'll move out of my screen. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really enlightening. Thank you.
Did I take a long time? Yeah, almost 2 hours. I'm really sorry. There was supposed to be time for question and answer, but yeah, it went on longer than I anticipated. Any questions? I'm ready to take questions.
Good afternoon, Dr. Chumki Biswas. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. Uh, Actually, my question is relevant to the leadership, especially in India. When a person aspires to become a leader, it's considered as something pompous. So, is it really pompous to aspire for leadership? And if so, if not, especially putting the Indian environment into consideration, how to create or foster such kind of environment where, in case if a person is aspiring to become a leader and to guide others or nourish others, so how to create such kind of environment where leadership is encouraged?
Okay, so what kind of leader are you talking about? If it is a political leader, it's a different ball game.
No, no,
right?
not in terms. No, it's not at all relevant to the politics. I mean, in general, it can be in terms of management or in terms of the public.
Right.
Or
So
social
the
service.
first thing I said is that even if I want to become a leader and I claim myself a leader, if I turn around and I don't see followers, means I'm not doing a very good job of being a leader. So the first thing to being a natural leader is to identify the kind of power that you have. So since you made an effort to ask me a question, can you identify your superpower?
My superpower, I
Why
would
would
consider
people
my.
follow you?
Okay. So I'm not aspiring people to follow me, but I would consider my superpower to be that I can communicate or articulate my thoughts in such a way that others can understand. Even though it's complex, I make it into bits and pieces so that everybody can understand.
Superb. Then your superpower is something where your students automatically look up to you as a leader. I mean, I
Probably.
don't know if your colleagues do the same, but your your purpose of being a teacher is to transform the lives of students. So if they consider you a leader, you are a leader. So, somehow you have to find out what students say in terms of their feedback for you. And that's where you will realize that they love the fact that you can cut down complex things into smaller bits, easier bits for people to understand. So you must be a very good teacher in the classroom. And that's your leadership power. You are a leader. You are a leader teacher. Does
No,
that
not
answer?
for me. Yeah, no, not for me actually. How to create such kind of environment where the leadership is encouraged?
Well, it depends from institution to institution. You will join certain colleges where the management likes teachers to be very proactive, to take onus and start things. And you will find institutions where they're not encouraging. So I hope and pray that you're in an institution where your management gives you the scope and the chance to display your leadership. Because at the end of the day, everybody has certain superpowers.
पैसे कैसे लोगे?
Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
It's very difficult to come up with answers because this is not like a chat show where I have the questions and the answers already prepared. So, to answer at the drop of a hat, spur of the moment.
No, the very word leader has to be defined, I believe.
Pardon?
Like you rightly pointed, the word leader and leadership, these two words have to be defined. Depending on the context, maybe leader is one who enables, right? Leader is not a boss. That's why you use the word where your students look up to you as a leader. It's fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything for Q&A? Is it pompous? Somebody you asked.
This is me. Just before I ask.
Say negative things. So if somebody thinks it's pompous, that's their problem. They will be negative people all around. But you do what you want. And if it's for the good of people, it's good.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Mukesh. Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam, I'm a person who is calm going and I never comment on anyone. But sometimes people try to provoke us to make comments. How to handle the people who provoke us to involve in such type of activities?
What kind of activities? Can you be a little more specific?
They provoke us to make comments. Yeah, they provoke us to make comments. They provoke us to speak something towards them. Even though we go calm and peacefully, they try to provoke us.
The ones who are trying to incite you to say negative things about others? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, so it's very simple. You can just say that, I'll have this conversation some other time, and then you go out and say that I have to go to the bank or I have to go to the loo, I have to go to the washroom, just walk away from there. So every time they ask you to, make negative comments about others, you walk away and then soon get the, message that you're not interested in, bitching about anybody or saying anything negative about anybody. Just walk away. I think walking away has helped me a lot. Anything that I don't want to be involved in, I want to stay neutral, I will just myself from there. If I say I have to go to the washroom, nobody will stop me. I will just go away and vanish for the next half an hour. Please not come back to Excuse me. May I add? May I add? Yes, please. You can make it a conversation and you can give suggestions to whoever is asking questions. I'm not very good at answering.
No, the thing is, maybe you can ignore, as you, ma'am said, that you can ask that I am going to the washroom or something. And if they are actually, saying amongst themselves, and you can ignore, they may not have talked about.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Dr. Vishwas, can you hear
Hello.
me? Hi,
Yes, ma'am,
I'm
I
Dr.
can.
Anjali. I'm Dr. Anjali from Integral University. I have a question and I would congratulate you. You had an excellent talk. It was mind blowing and I learned a lot, but somehow in between I had some work in the university, so I had to leave your conversation. So I just request the organizers if they can share the recording with us because I don't want to lose that precious moment in between. It was excellent.
Oh, the
I just
organizers are fantastic. They already have a YouTube channel, so the
uh-huh.
recording will be there. And other than that, I will give you a PDF of my presentation also because my presentation is in Keynotes. You may not be able to run it on PowerPoint, so I'll give you a PDF of slides for those who are
Yeah, but
interested.
the way you were explaining was, only presentation will not suffice for me. The way you were explaining it was very important. Ma'am, I just
You'll
have a
find it on
question.
YouTube.
Yeah, sure. I just have a question, ma'am. Like we sometimes have very negative thoughts in our brain, we are always tackling with some problems, it could be personal, it could be your professional problems. You always have a negative thought clinking in your brain. Somehow when you are walking, how can we combat that negative thoughts? I want to precisely tell you, like we are very much worried about our future or something which has hurt us, that is on and on coming to your mind again and again. So how do you combat that and be more focused on your work, because this
Okay.
kind of thing is actually
First,
disturbing your whole work environment.
right. I think, we can look at that iceberg where we're talking about needs. Things don't disturb me now a lot because my job is permanent. I have a house to stay. Nobody's going to throw me out of my job. So I can afford to ignore a lot of negative things when I'm not worried about my basic requirements. So if negative thoughts are coming to you, first and foremost is you secure your future. So if it is not a permanent job, you look for a college where it is a permanent job. If a permanent job requires you to clear your net, or if you need to do your PhD, make sure you do that. So once these things are in place, you will see that you get a shield around you where people's negativity doesn't affect you so much. And despite all this, if everything else is in place, you're in a secure place, um, and still people are disturbing you, I think going for a walk or a run is the best thing that helps me. And I don't stay in the presence of negative people. That is also one more thing. I Whenever I go somewhere and I see there's a particular group interested in talking negatively, I'll just say hi, bye, and I excuse myself and I go away and sit with people who are more.
For your presentation, ma'am. Please stay with us for the valedictory session.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes. As we come to the conclusion of today's session, we are truly grateful for the insightful discussions, the knowledge shared, and the valuable perspectives we have all gained throughout this event. Now, the valedictory session of this event, FDP Faculty International Faculty Development Program on Working with Emotional Intelligence Life Skills, organized by Department of English, Bapatla Engineering College, in association with the ELTI English Language Teachers Association of India, Guntur chapter. I welcome to our principal, sir, Dr. Sheikh Nazir, sir, and convener and the head of the department, Dr. PVN Malleswarao, sir. Please welcome. I request Principal, sir, Dr. Sheikh Nazir, sir, please join in our valedictory session, sir.
Good evening to all, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I request the head of the department and convener of this event, Dr. PVN Malleswarao, sir. Please join in our valedictory session.
Good evening, madam. Thank you.
Once again, I welcome Dr. Chumki Biswas, ma'am, from Mumbai. Please join us in our valedictory session. And I request all the participants to be with us throughout the session. I request our principal, sir, Dr. Nazir Sheikh, please give your message, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Is my voice is audible, ma'am?
You are audible, sir.
Respected head of the department English and convener of this faculty development program, Dr. PVN Malleswarao Garu, co-convener Dr. K. Venkatlakshmi Madam, faculty coordinators Dr. Sheikh Shabrin Sultana Madam and Mr. K. Kalyan Kumar sir, other faculty member of Department of English, distinguished speakers, especially today's speaker Chumki Biswas Madam, esteemed colleagues and participants, good evening all for this valedictory event. It is both an honor and privilege as we draw the end of this transformative international 5-day faculty development program on working with emotional intelligence and life skills management, organized by our Department of English, Bapatla Engineering College. As a principal, I am immensely proud of the unwavering commitment and collaborative spirit that have made this event a landmark success. Over the past 5 days, we have embarked on an extraordinary journey of learning, self-reflection, empowerment. The thematic focus of this faculty development program, emotional intelligence and life skills management. It is not merely timely, it is crucial in shaping a future defined by the empathy, resilience, and thoughtful leadership. From practical strategies to theoretical frameworks, the knowledge imparted during this faculty development program will undoubtedly amplify our teaching effectiveness, workplace harmony, and overall well-being. These interactive workshops, case studies, and thought-provoking discussions have truly been a treasure trove of these insights. It's my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished speakers and resource persons, especially today's speaker, Dr. Chumki Biswas Madam, whose exceptional expertise and willingness to share have enriched us immensely. Your contributions have been nothing short of exemplary. To the organizing committee, faculty members, and staff who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to orchestrate the seamless and impactful event. Your meticulous planning and unwavering dedication have been the backbone of this program. To all the participants whose enthusiasm, active engagement, and thirst for knowledge have made this faculty development program a vibrant and rewarding experience. In the words of Daniel Goleman, emotional intelligence begins to develop in the earliest years. All the small exchanges children have with their parents, teachers, and each other carry emotional messages. As educators and leaders, we are the custodians of these exchanges, shaping not just intellects but the very fabric of human connections and understandings. I appreciate the Department of English and congratulations to the head of the department, co-conveners and faculty coordinators for organizing a well-impactful 5-day international faculty development program. I thank you and thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.
We sincerely thank you, sir, for your exemplary leadership and profound insights, which have been pivotal in making this event a significant and enriching experience for our teaching fraternity. Thank you so much, sir. Now it's my privilege to invite the convener, Dr. Privian Malveswarao sir, to share the concluding remarks with us.
Uh, Respected principal of our college, Dr. Sheikh Najir sir, today's resource person, Dr. Chumki Biswas madam, co-convener of the event, Dr. K. Venkatlakshmi madam, staff coordinators, Dr. Sheikh Shabrin Sultana madam, and Mr. K. Kalyan Kumar sir, and my dear esteemed participants from different prestigious institutions all over the world. Good evening to one and all. I welcome you all to the valedictory session of this 5-day online FDP program on working with emotional intelligence and life skills management in association with the LTI Guntur chapter. I'm very happy that we got a huge response or overwhelming response from the participants all over the world. 779 participants. As I have already mentioned in my speech in the inaugural, 779 participants have registered for the FTP. Every day, 350 and plus members have participated in all the sessions. I hope, as I have already mentioned in my inaugural speech, 78% of participants from different states in India, and the rest of 22% of participants from UAE, Japan, US, UK, and Iran. I really thank all the enthusiasm and curiosity to learn something from the FTP. I hope the same you have gained here can be implemented in your personal and professional life successfully. We are delighted, we from the Department of English, delighted with the outstanding presentations delivered by our esteemed resource persons who not only shared their expertise but also engaged in meaningful interactions with the participants. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Praveen Samsar, Madam, Professor Adampal sir, and Dr. Chumki Biswas Madam for graciously accepting our invitation and contributing to the success of this event as a resource persons. As we come to close to this enriching program, I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has contributed to its success. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our executive body, our management members, for their wholehearted support and encouragement. I would also thank to our beloved principal, Dr. Sheikh Najir sir, who has been a constant source, who has been a constant source of guidance and inspiration throughout this journey. Your leadership and enthusiasm have been instrumental in making this program a reality. So it's a great privilege to it's a great privilege for me to remember the services of our organizing committee, Dr. K. Venkatlakshmi Madam, co-convener of the event, staff coordinators, Dr. Sheikh Shabrin Sultana Madam, and Mr. K. Kalyan Kumar Sir. I really am very happy with the services and their meticulous plan. The dedication, expertise, and teamwork have been ensured that every aspect of the program has been meticulously taken care of. I also would like to thank our technical supporting staff, Dr. K. Manideep sir and Sai Kishore sir, who have worked behind the scenes to ensure that all logistical arrangements were in place. Their technical expertise and support have been invaluable. I definitely appreciate their hard work. Last but not least, I would like to thank the AVA students for their active participation and support. Their energy and enthusiasm have added a new dimension to this program. And also, I appreciate the Kalyan, one of the AVA students who asked the questions to the resource persons. So they're really, it's a grateful for their involvement in the program. To all the participants, I would like to thank you for your active engagement and participation throughout this program. Your feedback and suggestions have been invaluable for us. And also, we hope that you have gained valuable insights and skills that will enhance your teaching and personal growth. As we conclude this program, I would like to quote a quotation that was collected from Daniel Goleman's Working with Emotional Intelligence book. I quote, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand emotions in ourselves and others, and to use this awareness to guide thought and behavior. I hope that this program has inspired all the participants to cultivate emotional intelligence and life skills that will benefit you in your personal and professional lives. Once again, thank you all for making this program a grand success. We look forward to organize more such programs in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. We are truly thankful for your guidance and unwavering commitment in steering this event to a successful conclusion. Now, I would request Dr. K. Venkatlakshmi ma'am to propose a vote of thanks.
Respected Principal of Bapatla Engineering College, Dr. Sheikh Nazir sir, HOD and Convener of the FTP, Dr. PVN Malleshwara sir, esteemed resource persons and dear participants, good evening to all. As we come to close the enriching 5-day international faculty development program on emotional intelligence and life skills management, it is my honor to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this event a grand success. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our esteemed principal, Dr. Sheikh Nazir sir, whose constant support and visionary leadership have been a guiding light for this invitation. And your commitment to growth and development of our faculty members is deeply appreciated, sir. And we are truly grateful for your encouragement throughout the duration of this event. And a special mention goes to the executive body members of Bapatla Education Society. Your dedication to fostering an environment of continuous learning and professional development is truly inspiring. Next, I would like to thank the Department of English for their invaluable contribution to this event. Under the able guidance of HOD, Dr. PVN Malleshwar Rao has constantly excelled in promoting not just academic excellence but also holistic growth, which is vital in today's world. Thank you for your unwavering dedication to the success of this program, sir. I would like to express my thanks to the resource persons who have shared their expertise and knowledge with us over the past few days. Your insight on emotional intelligence and life skills management for personal and professional growth have been truly inspiring and practical. We are confident that the knowledge imparted will have a lasting impact on all the participants. A special thanks to Dr. K. Manideep sir and A. Sai Kishore sir for their exceptional technical support throughout the program. Your expertise and quick solutions ensured that we were able to navigate any challenges smoothly and that the event proceeded without any technical glitches. Your behind the scene efforts have been crucial to the success of this FTP. We would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to our students for their enthusiastic participation and support. Your efforts behind the scene, whether in organizing, assisting, or ensuring the smooth flow of the event, have been instrumental in making this FTP a success. Your energy and commitment reflect the vibrant spirit of our institution, and we are truly grateful for your involvement. A special thanks to our organizing committee for their meticulous planning, coordination, and execution of this program. Your hard working behind the scene has ensured that this FTP ran smoothly, and we were grateful for your attention to every detail. I also want to acknowledge the participants of all the delegates and attendees from various institutions. Your engagement, enthusiasm, and willingness to learn have made this program a meaningful exchange of ideas, and we hope that you will carry forward the learning and insight from this FTP into your academic and personal life. Finally, I extend my gratitude to everyone who has contributed in any way to success of this event. Without the collective efforts of so many individuals, this FTP would not have been as successful it has been. Once again, thank you all for your presence, participation, and contribution. We hope this program has equipped you with valuable tools and strategies for emotional and professional growth. Thank you, all of you, for your presence and cooperation. Thank you all. Thank you all. And the feedback sheet and attendance feedback from attendance sheet will share shortly in the Q&A session and your WhatsApp group. Thank you all the participants. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. So give us a minute, sir. We'll post a question and attendance and feedback link in Q&A. Dear participants, the link is available in WhatsApp group. Please do check and fill all the ones.